All right, y'all. Let's discuss this here. So first off, something that should be super duper easy at this point is that f prime of x, oh, I didn't connect to the screen, is just the inside piece of this, right? Okay? We talked about that yesterday. We said that our general rule is if you're driving a function that has an integral in it, you plug in the top times the derivative of what you plugged in, minus plug in the bottom times the derivative of what you plugged in. Okay? But if we're going from a number to x like we are here, then f prime of x is just equal to the inside piece. Is that okay? Because we want to find the max and min, or just the max on 0 to 10, we know we're going to have to find the value of f of x at 0 and at 10, and also where the derivative, f prime of x, changes from positive to negative. Okay? If we did not have a calculator, we'd have to solve that by hand, which is doable because it's just sine times e. This is going to be 0 when sine has pi inside of it. So that's going to be at 2 pi. Does that make sense? Okay? And is that the only 0? Okay? But if you're doing this with a calculator, which I happen to have handy right here, you have sine of x over 2 times e to the square root of x. Look how nice this looks. And I told you, you should set your window to go from 0 to 10, because that's what we'll care about. Oh, that's a 1. And you should have your y max and min. Just go from negative 1 to 1. You can make that bigger if you want, but all we really care about are the zeros. So we see f prime is positive. Oh, there's a 0 at 0 as well. You can see it on the graph, but we don't care about that. And it comes right back down a little bit past 6. Guess what number that is? 6.28 something. Okay? Now, if you want to find that, you're going to hit second trace, 0. It's a little bit bigger than 6, so I'm going to say, hey, calculator, look between 6 and 8. Great. And it says 6.28 whatever. Now, if you didn't know that was 2 pi, then we're just going to store that as an answer, okay? Does that make sense? But you can just use 2 pi here. But anyway, the way you do that was second quit, store, alpha, I'm going to call it A, enter. And on my paper, I would write A equals this whole long stupid number. That's the last time I would write that, okay? So, I know that to find the maximum value, all I need to find is f of 0, f of 10, and f of that number, which again is just f of 2 pi. Okay? If I had more room, I'd list this out a whole lot nicer here, okay? Something you can do, which I have not showed you yet, is you can type out the integral thing on the home screen, or if you just want to use function notation for this, what's wrong? Okay, what's up?
So, what about for the bottom, so there's an x and then there's 1. Do you also do the 1?
It would be minus 1 plugged in times the derivative of 1, and that's 0.
Okay.
That's why it's not there, okay? Yeah. So, something you can do. Now, you shouldn't graph this, all right? But we can put in 3 plus, look at this nastiness, math 9. Oh my gosh, I can enter it right in. 1 to x, and I can type it out again here. I can just say y1, look how nice that is, dx. Now, although in general, I told you not to put an x in your integral if you're using x, what you're integrating to, but the calculator doesn't know any better, so we have to put an x there. All right? And if I were you, I would definitely make sure, if you hit enter on that equal sign, you're not going to graph that. We don't want to graph that. The calculator is going to freeze up if you try to graph that. But the benefit of doing that now is if I hit y2, I can say of 0, and it spits out a value. Super nice. Make sense? This is the same thing as typing it into the home screen and then hitting second enter and changing. Okay? Which, by the way, I'm just going to hit second enter real quick and put a 10 in there. That's going to find y of 10. Did you guys get these values? 2.449, negative 21.829. And we also need 2 pi. Which again, if I didn't know that was 2 pi, I'd write the whole number out, or I would have stored that as a variable. Okay, I did store it as a, right? So I could have put a in there as well. Okay. And we should expect, really, before we even get our answers, that the max has to be at 2 pi, right? Because the derivative goes from positive to negative, and that's it.
Wait, can you go to your y real quick?
What do you mean?
Y equals?
Yeah.
You see So you did put the 3.
Yeah. Okay. So we should be putting these values into here, which, again, 2.449 would go here. Boom. What was f of 10? Negative something?
Negative 21.
828. And f of 2 pi?
26.728.
Okay. And if this was a free response question, we've done a lot of good work here. We should have, if it was free response, the very first thing we should have wrote was f prime of x equals 0, and then wrote the answers down underneath of that. Okay? That lets an AP grader know you know where to look. Okay? Then you find all the values. We said that. And then the last thing you do is write a little sentence. And your sentence is going to say something like, the maximum value of f of x is f of 2 pi, which equals 26.728. I check the endpoints, 0 and 10, along with the x values, 2 pi, where the derivative changes from positive to negative. Okay, where f prime changes from positive to negative. Okay, what's up?
Oh, so you don't have to graph it and find a 0 or anything?
We did do that.
Oh.
I just knew the 0 was 2 pi and 0 just because it's a sine function. But yeah, we graphed it and found the 0. I did that. It's right there.
It was like 6 something?
It's 6.28. It's 2 pi.
Oh,
Okay? All right. We went over some AP questions yesterday, right? I told you to try them. Did I say we're going to go over those today in class? Right? Should we go over those? Let's go over those. Yeah. Hang on, Malik. In the calculator, you could do a table, or you hit vars, which is variables really. Go over to y variables, hit enter, and choose the y you put it in. So I did y2. And then you do like function notation. So if you put like a 3 or 5 in here, that's going to spit out when you plug in 5. Okay? So a table will work, but you got to have all the right values in there. So a table's not going to spit out a 2 pi.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Okay?
So you just put bars and...
Yeah. Or you can just type the whole thing out again, man. I mean, I'm just trying to show you a little bit of a shortcut. Yeah. Sure. Okay. So, I'm going to try and go through this relatively quickly. If you got any questions, please let me know. This is the one we did, right? Right? Where is it? Okay. So, this is 2004, number 5. To go through here, you know what we should do? Hang on one second. Let me see.